What's up, guys? We got another shift knob video for you today. This one's pretty cool though because it's actually for a subscriber. Shout out to Zach. He's got a black SRT and he said he's got a lot of gold accents. So we talked about doing something black and gold. And so he said he liked like marble countertops, how they look, the finish of those. So I have an idea on how I'm going to get a marble-like finish with black and gold. And to start off, I kind of already made this off camera. It's basically just a piece of pipe with a nut welded on to the bottom side of it in the thread pitch that he requested. You wouldn't have to go this overkill. This is definitely more than you would have to do, but especially since it's like a faster car, I want to make sure that if he's like banging gears, I do not want this thing to fail. So got a nut welded on the bottom of this. It's going to be our base. I'm going to paint this and then I'm going to pour epoxy around it and then shape it in the shape that he wants. So I basically just sanded this down to make sure that paint would stick. And yeah, so I'm getting ready to start painting it, and then we'll pour the epoxy, and then once the epoxy is cured, go ahead and start shaping it. So again, shout out Zach. Here we go on this little custom shift knob. So for my black, I'm gonna be using the old-fashioned Plastidip, and this is gonna be our gold finish, and I'm actually going to be doing what's called hydro dipping. A lot of people would refer to that as like you buy like a printed, I don't even know what to call it, little sheet, I guess. They put it in water, spray some adhesive on it and dip it and leaves a pattern. What I first heard hydro dipping being was basically putting spray paint on top of water and then dipping whatever into it. So it's essentially the same thing, but I'm just using spray paint. You guys will see that in a second. And the reason why I'm using Plastidip is because it just, it sticks to everything that's clean. I've done it before. I've hydro dipped actually this like same way with it before, so I know it's gonna work. And that's the reason why I'm going with Plastidip for my base. So I've got a bolt with the head cut off for my attachment so I can screw the shift knob onto my drill. That's how I'm going to be turning it at the end to shape it, and that's also how I'm going to be spraying it because I can't really hold it and get the whole thing. So I've got the drill kind of masked up, getting ready to do the base coat. All right, this is, me, and I do the most unconventional things, all right? So we got a bucket of water. This little tip I came up with a while ago. Now we're gonna be spraying the spray paint on top of this water, and we've got the tape at the level of the water, so that way whenever the paint dries, I can still use my bucket. So like I said, definitely unconventional, but we're making do with what we got. And once this thing's finished, you never know that it was done with all these weird ways. So getting ready to spray the gold on the water and do the hydro dip, and it's gonna look pretty sick, I reckon. So here we go. We've basically got only one shot of making this look good unless we want to sand it down and repaint it again. So yeah, hopefully this goes well. Hopefully that's enough gold. Sorry, I kind of got you guys out of the angle there. It's kind of hard to film. And yeah, all right, I'm about to set you guys down. So it's been a while since I've done this, but that actually worked out absolutely perfect. It's still wet, but yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. I think that's gonna be perfect for what he's looking for. Oh yeah, I don't know, I think that looks freaking sick. So I'm gonna basically pour epoxy around that, just so it's gonna give it a lot clearer of a finish. It's gonna look a lot nicer. I'll be able to make it a little bit wider and a little bit taller, and he also wants it tapered down at the bottom. But for the base, once it is all dried off, I'll show you guys again, but I'm so stoked with how that came out. So here we have it after it's all dry. So already not too bad of a finish. I mean, it's definitely a little bumpy. That's just kind of how this method goes. But once I pour it in epoxy and shape it, it's gonna look super, super good, I believe. So very excited to see the outcome of this one. So I had a little mishap with my mold. I tend to use like old bottles of things that I have used in the past that are empty. Didn't realize it, but the bottom of it wasn't level. So basically I cut it out and used some caulking to seal it. I know I keep using the word unconventional. It's totally what it is, but just wait till it comes out, it'll be all right. So I had that mishap. I didn't really want to show it, but I was like, screw it, I'll show it. So the epoxy is poured. It's looking really good. So we got it out of the mold. It's a little bit hazy, but once I turn it, it should clear up a little bit. And I'll shave it down a little bit. It's gonna be a little skinnier and taper down at the bottom here, but looking pretty good so far. Now that we've got the main shape, I've hit it with a lot of 80 grit to get the shape going. Now I'm gonna do 180 and work my way all the way up to like 2000 and then start the polishing process. So as you can see, time lapse of the shaping, sanding, polishing, all the good stuff. We got our final product here. Turned out freaking awesome, in my opinion. For only the third shift knob that I've made with no real like turning equipment as far as like shaping it goes, using a dang drill and some sandpaper, I really cannot be upset with how this turned out. I already hit up Zach, sent him a video. He said it looks pretty wild. couldn't agree more. I think he's stoked on it. So as long as he's good with this final product here, it will be on his way within the next few days. So there we have it.